Let's get into the game, the pick'em games. Pick'em games. There we go. First game of the year, the defending Super Bowl champs, whatever, against the Tennessee Titans. Who you got?
I'll take the Steelers.
The Steelers.
I'll take the Steelers. That's right.
Not if Roethlisberger has to go to court 15,000 times a day and all that stuff. Still gonna pick them.
Yeah, I'll take shit. Have you seen the Titans this year?
I think they're okay. I mean, they're building something.
I know for a fact they're missing one heck of a defensive tackle.
That's true.
I think it showed in their exhibition games thus far.
That's what I'm
They
thinking.
do not have the same pass rush that they've had in past years, without Albert Haynesworth.
Yeah, as opposed to the Steelers, who playing us last weekend, they still, their first team looked like it still had quite a bit of punch.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if nothing else, defensively, I think the Titans are going to be overwhelmed. And what I saw on offense didn't impress me from the Titans. What I saw on offense didn't particularly impress me from the Steelers either. But I think that winning the Super Bowl, that's enough to leg out your opening game, especially when it's at home.
Right.
I'm going to go with the Steelers. Roethlisberger, he sprained his ankle, didn't play against the Redskins, but I think he'll be ready by the season opener. And they're playing in Pittsburgh. I agree with Yuli that the Titans don't look like the same team as last season, although, albeit it is the preseason. But you got to go with Pittsburgh in that game.
I'm going against the curve. Granted, not because I just dislike the Steelers. It's the fact that I think Tennessee is going to surprise some folks. They have a good 1-2 combination in their backfield. I think Kerry Collins is the perfect quarterback right now. They're smart at the bench, Vince Young. Vince Young will just come in if need be. Granted, their defense with Haynesworth with you guys, but it's the fact that I think their defense can morph itself into becoming a little bit better. They can fill, they got decent backups to fill up that position. The Steelers, if you haven't noticed, they don't do very well after they won the Super Bowl. Last time they won the Super Bowl, they just almost dropped the face of the earth. And this year, I kind of sensing the same thing. HINESWORTH's not all that healthy, because he's been suffering some injuries in the last couple of years.
He made an amazing catch in that Redskins game the other night.
But that was preseason.
Yes,
see what happened.
But whether it's preseason or regular season, you have to still be acrobatic to make that type of catch.
The only bright spot, but truthfully, it's the only major bright spot I give the Steelers is SANTONIO HOLMES. I think he's a phenomenal receiver. But the key question is, can these guys maintain, regenerate for another run? And I don't see that, and I don't see that in their home opener. I give it to the Titans. So that's just me. Anyway, this could have been the NFC Championship game, folks. Eagles and Panthers.
It maybe should have been.
Yeah, it should have been. So getting dogged out by the Cards. So, Mike, I'll give it to you first. Who do you think?
I'm going to go with the Panthers. 12-14 last season. They're playing in Carolina. The Eagles have had an assortment of injuries thus far. Stuart Bradley, they lost their middle linebacker for the year. Their backup quarterback, Kolb, he's gone, although now, of course, they have Michael Vick. Their offensive line has been banged up also. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yuli?
I got to go with Philly in that game. I heard everything you said, Mike, and I actually agree with you. But the thing is, I was very surprised that they weren't able to close it out against the Cardinals last season. I think that they have what they need. There's a certain intangible there, and frankly, the way that the Panthers ended up the season, I was just absolutely shocked at that. Yeah, they're going to come out and they're going to be, firing on all cylinders because they want to make it like, oh, that was just an aberration. But the Eagles are going to expose them when they go down there. I look for the Eagles to win that game on the road.
Okay.
Can I just throw one more thing in? It really depends on which Andy Reid shows up. If it's the Andy Reid that wants to throw the ball 60 times and forgets about his running game, then the Eagles will definitely lose. Reid, I think, has been at the forefront of a lot of the Eagles' problems in recent years.
I give you that credit because the Eagles' running game is now shrunk because Buckhalter's left, and the Panthers with their running attack has D'Angelo Williams, and granted they call them the shake and bake of Carolina, but I just see Carolina. They want something to prove. They felt like the NFC Championship was robbed from them. Their Super Bowl chance was robbed from them. So I'm going to give it to the Carolina Panthers. I just think that they're they're hungry, and they want that back.
Brian Westbrook.
He's been injured. He said
like I said, they had him, but they still have him. But the key thing is he can't maintain, and especially if Panthers defense is still strong. Granted, this is a good game because these two are hell bent on smash mouth football.
You don't understand. I don't want them to be good. I don't want them to win. I hate Brian Westbrook, but that's the thing. I got to respect it. Okay. I mean, every time I think the guy is done, I mean, here he comes. Here he is again. It's like, again, you're small. You're too little. How are you doing this? This is crazy.
Yeah. Well, the next game is part of history. The NFL has put in these legacy games, basically honoring the 50th anniversary of the American Football League. And you'll be noticing throughout the season that during our picking games, you'll be seeing the old logos of these teams. Right now, granted, it's known as the Patriots Jets, but back then it would be the Patriots and Titans, the New York Titans of football.
And who was the original coach of the New York Titans?
What was his name? I forgot.
Man named Sammy BAUGH.
Slinging Sammy, number 33.
BAUGH.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the Titans versus Patriots?
I'm going to go with the Patriots in that game. Tom Brady, if he is the same Tom Brady as prior to last season's injury, and with all the weapons that you mentioned before, Moss and Wes Welker and all those guys, you got to take the Patriots in this game. And who's going to be the Jets quarterback? Sanchez? Well, I'm not trying to ridicule him in any way. He's a rookie quarterback, though. And despite the fact that his very first completion as a pro in a preseason game, 48-yarder, it's nothing to sneeze at, you don't know how well he's going to do in the regular season. So I think that's a big question mark for the Jets.
All right, quickly, Yuli.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots, too. And, just something to add to what Mike said. Even if this kid starts, he's never seen anything like what Bill Belichick is going to throw at him with the Patriots defense. Right. I don't want them to be good either. I hate the Patriots, but yet they keep doing it year in and year out with these lunch pail guys, blue collar players. They remind me of us back when we used to be us.
Absolutely. You mean the glory days?
Yes.
All right, I'll make this a clean sweep. Granted, New England with adding Fred Taylor. Granted, the old Raven, now current head coach. Rex Ryan's part of the group. I think you'll give him a game, but I think New England is going to be just too tough, and hopefully there won't be another incident anymore in this game. So we'll see what happens. Next game, Colts and Cardinals. I'm going with. I don't know what's wrong with the Colts. Granted, they have a new head coach, and Tony Dungy is gone, but I really think we're seeing the waning years of Peyton Manning, not Eli, but Peyton Manning and the phenomenal Colts, because the Cardinals, if they maintain that tenacity they had in the Super Bowl, I think they can surprise me. And the Colts, I just don't see it. So I'm going to give it to Arizona. Yuli, who do you think? I'm
going to respect the Cardinals. I was picking against them all through the playoffs last year up until that Philly game. And then all of a sudden I saw something. I'm like, I can't do it. But I want to pick the Colts in this game, but I just can't. I think that the Cardinals have done enough to earn my respect, and I want to see what, you talk about old quarterbacks.
Right.
I mean, I want to see what this guy does coming in there, I mean, because I remember, I remember bagging groceries.
Mike. Well, along those lines, Kurt Warner, I mean, he's going to be 38 years old. And as in the case with Favre, I mean, he's about to hit a wall. It's inevitable. So we don't know if it's going to be this season. I'm taking the Colts in that game. I think the combination of Manning, I think, still has a few good years left in him. The combination of him to Anthony Gonzalez, who was nearly one of my sleeper picks. I think that's going to be lethal. Okay. Last game, surprisingly enough, again, we're going, it's like for 360 here. Vikings, Packers, Brett Favre's first game. Do we have to talk about it again? I know, but it somehow just happens. It's so nauseating. I'm going to make it quick. I'm giving the Green Bay just to bury him, because I personally feel Brett Favre does not do well in the Dome, and I just think that Green Bay will will surprise him. So I'm going to the Pack. Yuli, quickly. Green Bay Packers. I'm going with the Packers. Our fantasy world girl of
this new season will be the lovely Miss April Watts. Yes, if you heard her voice, used to be on Magic 102.3, but now she has the hottest show in television called WHW Rocks. You can catch her every Friday night on Access Montgomery. And also you can check her website at whwweb.com. Also check out her sister show, WHW, which is What's Hot Washington, give you all the information that's happening outside the DC area. So anyway, my time is out. Yuli, Mike, thank you for coming, and I'll see you next month. Peace.